Hey there, I'm Harrone.
I'm Chantell,
and we are the Guthries.
Welcome to Chit Chat with the Guthries.
We're a Sunday Adventist pastoral couple,
bringing you real conversations about anything and everything,
from religion and family life
to lifestyle and whatever else comes up. Stay tuned for insightful chats that will inspire and uplift. Hang out with us and join the chat fam,
because here every conversation matters. Let's chat.
Hello.
Greetings. Oh, welcome to Miketown. You know what? What is Sabbath? You should come. You should come to the Miketown district and worship with us. Free invitation.
Greetings, everyone.
Look at that wonderful
It's
Jamaican.
Vlog, so I can't really.
Look at that wonderful Jamaican countryside.
Okay, clearly it's a vlog.
Wonderful Jamaican countryside. Only in Miketown. Miketown district members is going to comment and represent.
Shame if they don't represent here. Alright, back to the video. Okay guys, so we want to express thanks to all the individuals who have been liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. You know, sometimes you don't watch same time, but you watch after the fact, and that's all right. We
it's a busy
appreciate
road, right? So
all the
loud background noise, like
right now.
Yeah, right now.
So we appreciate all the the feedback, the chit chatting that has been happening. But one thing we don't know, I love off the relationship things then. So, what are we talking about today, Harrone?
Something apart from relationships.
Yeah, but we still want you guys to watch this, okay?
Yeah, man. You can love it too, Other topics are important.
Yeah. This is sort of like probably a part 2 or a follow-up to something that we did in
season 1. Way back when. The days of only audio.
Yep.
Days of only audio recorded in various places. Somebody will tell about the some places that we recorded in. So that first episode, it was called Sin City Questions Part 1. All right, I'm gonna try it again. It's gonna come somewhere. If it's not this corner,
somewhere.
It's this corner.
Somewhere.
Somewhere not.
So you can either listen to that and come back to this, or you can
just continue listening to this one,
listening and then go back there for some
then go after that.
context.
But the thing is, listen both of them.
Yeah, both of them. All right, so. Sin City. Do we have an origin for
friends,
sin?
we're talking about sin.
Sin, yeah. Sin.
We're talking about sin. That bad thing. The sin thing.
Sin thing.
Yeah,
you get it? Sin thing?
Yeah.
As in like something, but sin thing.
Yeah, but the joke's not okay if I explain it.
Okay, fine. Shame.
Producer's giving us directions, but it's
Anywho,
fine.
right,
we proceed,
so.
because we're experts.
Okay, so give us the origin of sin. When did sin enter into this world?
Into this world or into the universe?
People live on Mars?
Would the universe begin on Mars?
When did sin enter into? What's the origin of sin?
There may be multiple universes, and our universe is just disconnected from our next universe. Right? So you can isolate it. It's not Marvel multiverse thing, right? It's not theoretical physics multiverse. Just contained universes. It's a possibility. Okay, sin.
Yeah, origin of sin.
Origin of sin. According to the Bible,
Came from a fruit.
Alright, so there's the existence of sin overall, and then there's the existence of sin in this world. Okay. Alright, so for this world now, Genesis 3 give us a story, and Revelation 12. But then now, existence of sin overall, we have Revelation 12, we have Isaiah 14, Ezekiel 28.
Yeah, tell us what those
so those 3 passages would show that it would have started with a created being. Most English-speaking persons call him Lucifer, but the Hebrew calls him Hillel. Right? The rest of the Bible calls him, because in doing the work of sin and the rebellion against God, he became Hasatan, the adversary. In English we just call him Satan. So Isaiah 14 shows that it was this internal desire, this unlawful desire. I will be like the Most High. I'll set my throne above the stars, above the throne of God, in the mount of the congregation, the sides of the north.
So do you think sin is
harboring.
I think?
You understand?
But you realize that in the middle of sin is I?
Well, that analogy only work in English. Because the poor Japanese and Spanish and all that.
But I only speak English, so I can only give an English analogy. I don't have the spirit of tongues.
Yeah, so
No hablo español. That was funny, Harrone.
there's dad jokes and then there's mom jokes.
You know,
Mom
some of the
jokes.
mom joke on the Mother's Day thing. Did you hear it? So how you know? So you never hear me do it?
We were
I recently hosted a Mother's Day brunch,
we were exploring.
and I did some mom jokes. The people have never get it, but
Yeah.
yes, Papa. Good job. All right, sorry for cut you.
Yeah, whatever it's gonna do. Yeah, exciting stuff. Mm-hmm. So
that was the start of it.
So it started in the Celestial City.
Okay, so new day, different week,
Same us.
different hairstyle, different clothes. But as Harrone says, same us. Let me lock us in so you can see us good and fair. Okay, so we're gonna finish the conversation while we are on a road trip. We're gonna be going through how many parishes?
No.
For sure? Number 3?
Yeah, true too.
Manchester? No. 4. Anyways, okay. Alright, so we're talking about Sin City. And earlier we had mentioned about, the origin of sin, and I was talking about it being
ultimate origin in terms of the Celestial City. Yeah.
right, and I was making mention about it coming from the fruit, and then Harrone was clearing up that it come from the Celestial City. So
Right. So
alright, so clear that up for me.
yeah, so it came from a being that was in the Celestial City. According to Ezekiel 28, originally made perfect, but by his own choice, with no inducement or encouragement from anywhere, would have chosen to go contrary to the will and the ways of God, and thus would have gotten the origin of sin and his transformation from perfect being to a sinner.
Okay.
And then that spread. So if you study Ezekiel 28 deeply, you see the mechanism by which it spread, and Revelation 12 outline how it would move from that realm there to here, the realm of earth.
Okay. The road shaky, so please to forgive us about.
It's Jamaica.
Listen to what we are saying.
It's Jamaica. Not new there. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Should we live
and
our
then-
life?
and then Genesis 3. Ezekiel 28, Revelation 12, Genesis 3.
Ezekiel 28, Revelation
Ezekiel 28,
3,
Revelation 12, then
Revelation 12, then Genesis 3.
Genesis 3.
Oh, so
that give the sequence of the origin to how it would enter into the planet Earth and the human experience.
Okay, all right. Yes, Matthias. Whatcha? So should we live our life asking the question, is this sin? Is it a sin to do XYZ?
Ultimately, I don't think so. I mean, yes, we might start off. We're in Christianity, from that transactional, formula counting perspective of, this is sin, that is not sin. But as we explained in a previous episode, the better perspective is this what the Lord desires for me? Is this in His Word? Is it harmony to His will?
Yeah, but if
that's a better way to look at it.
But how do you know that this is not what the Lord desires for me?
Yeah.
If it's not sin, I'm asking because all right, let's go. Let me give you an example, right? Is it sin for me to wear nails?
I feel like this question asked already.
Yeah, but
Harrone,
it's asked already, yes, but I want for you to expound on it.
It's generally evil for somebody who knows better. It is sin.
How is that a sin?
How is it not?
All right, what is a sin?
How is it not?
What is sin?
And you see, that's and that is why, and this is how the conversation normally go in church, and we spend time arguing with each other, and we argue about viewpoints, and nobody stopped to say, what does the Lord desire for me? What is the perspective that the Lord wants? We can't go through life accounting like we count calories.
Okay, so are you saying that in a sin city world, we should be living based on how God, what did you just say? How God desires for us to live.
I'm saying if we count sin like how people count calories, we're going to end up being deficient in our Christian life.
So how we must count it? How we must know?
Counting sin is legalism. Straight. We must pursue righteousness.
Okay.
And abiding in the will of God. I mean, no somebody rolling at me and like.
I'm rolling my eyes at you.
Yeah, because you see, we're going to create categories now of this is sin and this is not sin, and then we'll go down to this cultural that we look at sin, what sin is that, and we're like, no, you're going too far, you're being extremist, and you know what happens? We argue over minutiae and definitions, and both sides are arguing, and nobody doing the will of God because we're counting sin.
Okay, so Chit chat fam, don't count sin. All right. Okay, Pastor Guthrie.
You'll be surprised that the number of us who are Pharisees and we don't even know.
Remember say the camera not really pop up? I mean I really want...
No, the chat fam not really, so when they come here, walk with bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Shots can be fired at any time.
You get a shot! You get a shot! Well, one thing we do, you shot at your house first, so my time name not life. Edit the video.
I mean, let's not go there. I guess all right installations about know what we're talking about. Right. So if we should move away from this because okay, producer signaling. Yeah.
We should move away from counting it.
Yeah, like unlike we are tally and because
But then how else?
Alright, look, alright. Let me take 30 seconds and get ultra philosophical. There is evil. There's evil. There's the profane. There's the sacred. There's the secular. There is sin. There's righteousness.
So and we're supposed to be aiming to be righteous.
There are some things, they are evil, but they are not sin.
So Harrone, so how is it evil though? Harrone, how does
evil goes,
stick up in.
Evil,
if somebody
evil is one of the effects of sin. Alright? Sin is the cause of evil. Right? But with evil, moral guilt is not always attached to it. Yeah. So that's what we're saying.
We not acknowledge say we look different and we look three different ways.
I don't think we should. Do you see a difference? No.
No.
There's no difference. As we were saying, counting sin, bad for your spiritual diet.
All right. I'm not, like I always say, I'm not there yet. But say what you want. Say what you wanna say. But I'm not yet there. I'm not saying I won't get there eventually, but at this present moment, I'm not. I'm the one that say, self Vivek. And friends. I'm not saying that you should stay in that era either, Harrone.
Friends.
Oh, me a cough, so.
Everything's self Vivek. I'm going to leave you with a sentence and you do it the way you want with it. But try to understand that there are about 3 different ways to be a legalist.
We're not talking about that. Another way about.
No, but that's a part of the equation, That's how we end up with this new breed of Adventist legalism. Because we sin counting.
It's new breed.
We sin counting. So we have the old breed of Adventist legalism fighting against the new breed of Adventist legalism. Right? And neither group is seeking God's way.
Tragic.
Yeah.
So then how do we know? And this is it is a question that I've asked you before regarding like theology and person's personal feelings and influences versus what the Bible said. Because to me the Bible gave me the 10 commandments.
Yeah,
and if you go against the 10 commandments, it's sin.
But that's not the only definition of sin.
I never said that. I didn't say that's the only. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the most obvious way to see it, but that's not the only way to see it, right?
What's the other way to see it?
The other way is for us to follow Isaiah 28, 9 and 10.
What that say?
Right? Let me summarize it. line upon line upon line, precept upon precept upon precept.
Okay.
Right? And Isaiah 8:20, to the law and the testimony. If they speak according to this word, there is no light in them. Now I know my traditional classical Adventists are going to come for me. When you look in that word, in that verse, you see the phrase law and testimony is a consistent way through what we call the Old Testament. Right? Whenever you see the phrase law, and then next to it you see testimony, it's a way to refer to all of the prophetic writings. So law refer to the 5 books that Moses wrote. Right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's law. Testimony now is the writings of all prophets that follow Moses.
Okay.
So to the law and to the testament. So to every message that God sent through the prophets, if you go against those messages, there's no light in you, which now widen the scope now.
So
that
not
sin,
only,
that
so that's
sin
why
is just
it's not
contrary.
only the 10 Commandments.
Right, so sin is contrary to the express revealed will of God.
Okay.
So if God clearly state, this is my way, I'm going to go other ways, even though I'm not going to find it explicitly written in the 10 Commandments. It's there in principle, but I'm not going to find it explicitly written, thou shalt not smoke cigarette and ganja. That's not in the 10 Commandments. But the express revealed will of God through the prophetic writing shows that that's not the way for a Christian. So if you smoke ganja and cigarette, may I sin? I may drink tea and coffee and eat chat. Anyway.
Tea and coffee. So what's wrong with tea?
Let me say it fast enough that you're not supposed to hear and supposed to say anything. I'm supposed to just run it in.
But you know, I'm not going to do that. So
just run it in. So obedience is directed to the express revealed will of God. Right? That's the way of righteousness. I'm not saying, no, you don't get up now and just work your way up to righteousness, but clearly somebody who is righteous is living an obedient life. You're in line with God's will. And that's why James 4:17 says, to him that knows to do good and does it not, to him it is sin.
And because they just said that.
When we take it from that perspective, we say, okay.
But then as they just said that, is sin ever just? Is sin ever justifiable? Is sin ever,
No.
Like let's say you crash, right? And you go to the banking to full get the full what I call it now? Impact of the crash. Do you have that kind of reaction in sin?
I don't really agree. I really agree with the analogy, but I think when
you understand what I'm saying. My gosh, why am I use the same analogy then when you're boring brain use?
I never said that. I never said use the same analogy that I use.
Okay.
Right? No, there's never a reason or excuse for sin.
So it's not just.
No.
So why you answer like that?
Sin is anything but just.
You always answer my question in like my stupid question. There are people out there who have these genuine questions in life.
So why you assume to me answer it like that?
Because your facial expression, Harrone.
No, because I'm thinking about.
Oh, you're thinking. That's your thinking
I'm
face.
thinking of the question. I'm thinking about all the connections to the question, and it just upset me.
All right, cool, fine.
Yeah, there's never any excuse for sin.
Just disclaimer: I upset Harrone every day.
Come with your feelings. Just say, come down.
All right, so you said no.
Take that statement. I don't want anybody to cut out the video and leave the video.
If you say me upset you every day?
Yeah.
That me upset you upset me every day, that's a part of marriage.
Anyways, there's never any excuse for sin, because sin is evil.
Okay. What is the connection between sin
Come on, the devil.
And the cosmic conflict?
Well, one may say it's because we know cosmic conflict that
sin exists?
Yeah, that there is sin.
But isn't it because of sin why we have a cosmic conflict?
Yeah.
But what you just say is different.
Maybe. I don't want to trouble anybody. Let's just say in the cosmic conflict framework that sin.
Listen, a few moments ago in another shot when we were in a different clothes, you said the chat fam know that when they come here, guns are out, and now a different day, a different week, a different clothes, a different look. Just chill.
No, because I don't want to I don't want to give anybody a headache. But let's just say it exists in the cosmic conflict because the enemy, the Hasatan, the adversary, decided to go contrary to the way
To
and
the
the
way.
will of God, and is a purveyor of these
So
principles
anytime
that
you
are
go contrary
opposite,
to the will
opposite
of
to God.
God, you get demoted.
Pressure.
Powerful.
Yeah, motivational speaker.
Woo! Prosperity.
Yeah.
It's prosperity again.
Prosperity. Yeah, so, and Isaiah 14, Ezekiel 28 give us that that background. Isaiah 14 really zoom in on like
You mean background as to say it's not
the
just
origin, the origin of sin.
okay.
As
Okay.
and Revelation 12 as well, because Isaiah 14 really zoom in and give us an internal thought process of the Satan, right? How we move from being Hillel, this created creature that was subservient to God, to now being the Hasatan, the adversary, the one that wants to challenge God, not just for merely independence, but challenge God, for dominion, dominance, control, right? Thinking that God is where God is because God is in an office, right?
So let me
So it's like he wants session for run.
So when we sin, we are
Yeah, imbibing the principles of
the origin of where it came from.
Yeah, of the Satan to dethrone God from his rightful authoritative role, because God is not God because he's sitting in an office.
God is God because of what?
God is God because of who he is. So oh boy, it's not though.
I'm about to say it.
Like somebody's a
But
chairman.
I feel like we have to go.
Like somebody's a chairman because they're in the chair.
That's
And once you're in the chair,
you have that power.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not so with God. No session never call. For God to
Yeah. So how does God pull you back in? How does God deal with sin? What does how is he dealing with sin, and what does that have to do with the plan of salvation?
well, I think
How me just rein it back in, Carl? I don't really want you.
I think the plan of salvation is really the approach. Is really the approach. As we read through the pages of scripture. Because so we have Isaiah 14 that give us the internal thought process. We have Ezekiel 28 that show the tail-bearing element, show how it spread. We have Revelation 12 that shows the effects never just stay with Satan. It spread to to the other angelic servants, and then it was cast out to the earth, and the earth, the original pair accepted his principles, and so it become now almost entrenched in the human family. So God's response is to activate, not formulate, but activate the plan of salvation.
Okay.
Where the Godhead themselves would take
it.
the greatest risk, take the greatest role, right? Go in the line of fire to defeat sin, the counsel of Satan, and put the universe in an eternal place of safety. Okay. Whereas Nahum 1 verse 9 says, affliction shall not rise a second time.
So if somebody's listening now and they feel like they've been living a sinful life, what is the first thing that they can do to actually accept or to recognize the plan of salvation so they can live a sinless life?
Find Jesus.
Should we have a sinless life or a life like Jesus? What should it be?
The life like Jesus is a sinless life.
Okay.
All right. Don't curse a Christian bad word now. We're called to perfection. You can get up and argue.
But how can we really be perfect though?
Can get up and argue all you want, but we're called to perfection. If you want to get up and talk about how well perfection in the original language means maturity and completeness, yeah. God has called us to that. So sinless means you're sinless. And less till it's zero.
Okay.
Right? And yes, people come at me.
So we're sinning less
Yeah,
to
less
be
and
sinless
less
like Jesus. Do you get it?
Well, if you want to phrase it like that, yeah. What show the new legalists come after you now? Yeah?
Then people are now watch your video. You them a watch and then make sure you like and subscribe.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. No, the solution for sin is a plan of salvation. And by the plan of salvation, we don't just mean forgiveness for sin. We mean deliverance from sin. You know, Matthew 1:21, she shall bring forth a son, he shall call his name Jesus, so he shall save his people from their sins. And this is where now, the Adventist perspective becomes becomes important, because in explaining to us his plan to eradicate sin, the most complete explanation that God gave us is the sanctuary system. Right? That is, you find it all throughout the Bible, and its most technical form, it's in the book of Leviticus and Hebrews. And the idea is that sin threatens the life of all who commit it. So what God said, no, I'm going to give you life, but I'm going to take your sin. And so the sanctuary, the sin is transferred into the sanctuary, into God's very presence, and then God now aggregate all that sin, put it in one place, and then God is going to and then now, having aggregated all the sin,
eradicated.
Then God is legally required, right, to hold the instigator accountable, right? So I've called him some names. We call him Hillel, because that's what Isaiah 14 call him. Hasatan, that's the book of Job and all throughout the Bible call him, right? Diabolos, that's what the New Testament call him, the devil, the slanderer, so he's deceiver, adversary, slanderer. But Leviticus 16 call him Azazel, the goat demon. Which is why when you see these music artists, worshiping Baphomet, which is a transgender demon and all of that, you see where it connect, it's his symbol. So this goat demon, Azazel. So as Azazel, he's the instigator. And the sanctuary teaches that God separates sin from us, give us life in exchange for our sin, aggregate the sin, and then by the blood of Jesus, use it as the vehicle now to pay for all of those sins. So the believer can be free. And then by that gives God now the medium and the mechanism to transfer that sin to the instigator, because legally, by the heavenly tribunal, right, brought to light in the investigative judgment in Daniel 7, he, Azazel, bears responsibility. So he has to own it. Okay. Right? And when sin destroy the life of all who hang on to it. So that is why in placing the sin of the repentant believer and Azazel, when sin is eradicated, Azazel is eradicated as well. Wow. So you find that the sinner gets saved, so the sinner gets forgiveness for the committed sin, gets the life of God, right? So the sinner is preserved. The instigator and the unrepentant are destroyed when sin is destroyed. Okay. So salvation, it gives life. So that's why I look and say, God save us from the penalty of sin. God delivers us from the power of sin. And then God going to make us free from the presence of sin. Right?
So the penalty, the power, and the presence.
Right. To solve the sin problem, those must be accounted for. And the sanctuary message.
That's a mathematical equation.
And the sanctuary message highlight that. Saved from the penalty, because Jesus took it for us. We're saved from the power of sin. And that's what we call it sanctification. And that is why, are you living a saved life, you sin less, because you live more like Jesus. Right?
See, just repeat what I said, man.
Yeah, because we have to get there. So you conform. So it's no longer rules and regulations. It's the will of God.
It's the will of God.
Right? And that's why Jesus gave us a formula for life. Matthew 4:4. Right? Live by every word. That's just it.
But then...
And then the present, save in the presence of sin now, that's this glorification, this transformation. I mean, we still have a good picture of what glorification looks like. It's not, you can write flowery language about it, but the power of indwelling Christ in us, the power of the Holy Spirit, it's something to experience, and it's something that will shake the world. Right? So, broad sense, that's how God deals with the sin problem. Yes, he deal with it corporately, but God wants to deal with it individually. Right? For us, 'cause it must mean something to us, man.
Yeah. Okay. Powerful over like probably 4 clips. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
You have something more to say?
Wow. No, Hebrews 7:25. Hebrews 7:25.
What you say?
He ever liveth to make intercession for us.
Amen.
Sin can stronger than God.
And we're not going to just get up one day and become sinless. As you said, we're doing less
If you want to take a
and
100
less
day or take a
and
1
less.
day, it's the power of God.
It's the power of God.
It's the power of God.
It's the...
It's the power of
What
God.
were the 3 things you said again?
It's the power of God.
It's
so we must be delivered from the penalty
from
of
the
sin.
penalty of sin.
We must be delivered from the power of sin.
And the presence
And we
of
must be
sin.
delivered from the presence of sin.
Amen.
So let's not become content with just being delivered from the penalty of sin.
That's
and
right.
why we continue to live under the power of sin.
So if it is that you're at the stage in your life right now where you're looking at things to say, you know, it's not salvific, you know, we're growing, we're maturing, we're
grow to that.
Well, you know, people take a long time to grow.
We're growing.
Everything is salvific.
We're growing.
We'll have a discussion about that at a later date.
G-R-O-W.
Okay, Daddy. All right, Daddy. Come
W.
Come back.
Let's stop the shine.
pass. The truck is stopping your shine. Just leave that. Just leave that alone. You see, agree again.
No,
just leave that alone.
The producer appreciates.
No, but that's calling too loud right now.
Producer appreciates.
All right. So what do we want for you guys to do now? Like, share, subscribe. This season will soon end. We have like 3-4 more episodes to go, something around like that. However, in our season break, we want to do some lives. So tell us in the chat something that you'd like to hear us talk about, something that you've heard us talk about before, but you want probably some expansion, some more explanation on it from Harrone. You want me to question him some more? I don't know.
How about type? Chantell, explain something.
I explain a lot. I explain things sometimes.
Yeah, we just call up my name. Hey, look up, the lives are coming.
Right. So tell us in the chat, and you know, let's try to see if we can go to 1K soon. I'm not gonna put a timeline to it. I'm not gonna limit you, chat fam.
Make it happen.
All right, later.